They say pain makes people stronger. That's not true. Pain doesn't make you stronger, it makes you colder. It hardens every part of your soul until love isn't something you give anymore. It becomes something you weaponize. The night she called me weak still burns in my head. She stood in the middle of that crowded room, wearing the smile of someone who knew she'd won. She stole the man I loved, ripped away my dignity, and laughed while everyone watched me fall apart. They thought I'd disappear, that I'd break quietly. But they forgot one thing. Weak people don't plot revenge. Silent people do. And when I'm silent,
I'm dangerous.
the night it happened, the air was thick with perfume, cheap champagne, and fake laughter. I remember every detail, the shimmer of the chandelier, the way the piano music floated through the hall, the sickening sweetness of betrayal that lingered in the air long before I understood why. It was a Friday night at the Parker estate. My Mark, had told me it was just a small get-together. Friends. Champagne. Good company. But when I walked in wearing that black silk dress, clutching the small clutch he'd gifted me for my birthday, I saw her.
Vanessa.
She was always the center of the room. Blonde curls, sharp green eyes, lips painted like sin. The kind of woman who didn't walk, she glided. And she was standing next to Mark. My Mark. Her hand on his chest. Laughing at something he said like the rest of the world didn't exist. I told myself they were friends, that I was overreacting. But when I walked closer, Mark's eyes flicked toward me, guilty, nervous, almost apologetic, and hers were victorious. Hey, I whispered, trying to hide the tremor in my voice. Vanessa smirked. You made it. She turned to Mark, still touching him like she owned him. I wasn't sure if she'd actually show up. The guests around us laughed softly. My stomach turned. Mark reached for my hand, but she beat him to it. She stepped forward, and with a soft, cruel smile, said the words that would split me in two. I hope you don't mind, sweetie. Mark and we have a little announcement. The room hushed. I stared at her. At him. Then he said it. Vanessa and we're together. Laughter. Applause. A few gasps. But all I heard was the sound of my heart breaking. I felt my knees weaken, but Vanessa wasn't done. She tilted her head like a predator studying its prey. I told him you'd take it badly. You always were a little fragile. The word fragile burned itself into my bones. She turned to the crowd and added, I mean, look at her. Poor thing can barely stand. It's sad, isn't it? The laughter came again. This time it wasn't just champagne and perfume filling the air. It was humiliation. I ran out of that house before the tears could spill. The cold night air hit me like a slap. I could hear them behind me, her laugh, his silence. But in that moment, between the tears and the darkness, something in me broke. Not like glass. Like steel being reforged. For weeks, I disappeared. People whispered. They pitied me. The girl who got humiliated. The girl who wasn't enough. I didn't answer calls. I didn't cry anymore. I studied. Vanessa had taken everything. My love, my dignity, my place in our small world. But she also made one fatal mistake. She thought I wouldn't fight back. Vanessa came from money. Old money. Her father's company ran half the luxury real estate in the city. Mark, on the other hand, was climbing his way up. Charming, ambitious, eager to impress. I'd helped him through law school. I built him up when no one believed in him. And then, the moment he got close to Vanessa's world, he forgot mine. They got engaged 6 months later. I watched from the shadows. I saw the articles in society pages, the perfect Instagram posts, the glowing faces. Everyone loved the golden couple. But I also saw what they couldn't. The cracks. Mark wasn't Vanessa's prize. He was her pawn. She wanted the lawyer who could clean up her family's messes. She wanted control, and Mark gave it to her with a smile. I started going to the places she went. Not to be seen, to observe. She drank at the same rooftop bar every Thursday. She wore the same signature red lipstick. And she always met someone there, a man who wasn't Mark. A married man. For weeks, I gathered everything. Photos.
Times.
Names. I learned how she moved, how she lied. I wasn't the fragile girl she humiliated that night anymore. I was a hunter. But revenge isn't just about hitting back. It's about timing. Their engagement party was set for June 5th. A black tie event at the old Harrington Ballroom. I got an invitation in the mail, either a cruel joke or a deliberate display of power. I didn't tear it up. I framed it, because that would be the night. The night of the engagement, the ballroom sparkled like a dream. Crystal chandeliers, white roses, champagne fountains. Every corner screamed perfection. Vanessa wore a white silk gown because of course she did. Mark stood beside her, looking like a man who'd already forgotten who he used to be. I walked in wearing a midnight blue dress. Calm, quiet, controlled. The whispers followed me like smoke. She showed up. How brave. How pathetic. I smiled at every single one of them, because they had no idea. The speeches began. Vanessa took the mic, her smile razor sharp. Thank you all for coming. Mark and I are so grateful for your love and support, especially from old friends who are still watching from the sidelines. The crowd laughed. My hands stayed still. Then it was Mark's turn. His words were sweet, hollow, rehearsed. A fairy tale built on lies. And then I stepped forward. Excuse me, I said softly, but the microphone caught every syllable. The room fell silent. I looked at Vanessa. Since we're all celebrating love and loyalty tonight, I thought I'd bring a little gift. I pulled a small remote from my clutch and clicked. The giant screen behind them flickered to life. First image, Vanessa in the rooftop bar, kissing the married man. Second image, her holding his hand, date and time stamped. Third image, hotel room security footage. Gasps filled the room like a storm. Mark's face drained of color. Vanessa froze. Vanessa, I said, voice steady, called me weak. But I guess weakness doesn't look like this. She rushed toward me, hissing, You hippie asterisk 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 H. I stepped back, still smiling. Oh, and one more thing. Your lover's wife. She's here too. The doors opened, and a woman in a red dress walked in. The married man's wife. Her eyes burned like fire. The room erupted. Reporters snapped photos. Vanessa screamed. Mark staggered back. It was chaos. Beautiful, perfect chaos. I leaned in close to her ear and whispered, I told you. Silent people are dangerous. She fell to her knees as Mark walked away, humiliated. Her perfect world collapsed in front of the very people she tried to impress. I didn't stay to watch the ending. I didn't need to. I walked out into the cool night, the sound of their downfall echoing behind me. For the first time in months, I felt alive.
She called me weak.
But that night, she learned what real power looks like.